We're back with breaking news. A new lawsuit expected this morning that could upend the music and concert industry. In the next hour, the Justice Department is set to announce a new suit against entertainment giant Live Nation. And, of course, that's the owner of Ticketmaster, accusing the music giant of creating a monopoly situation, causing higher ticket prices, among other things. Joining us now is NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans. So what more do we know about this lawsuit?
Well, look, a legal battle ahead that could change how you buy tickets to see your favorite live events. We all know that the Taylor Swift debacle last year is something that really had a lot of fans and lawmakers calling for a real good hard look at how this business is run. But actually, regulators have been looking at this business model for a very long time, because after a merger in 2010, these two now that used to be rivals became partners. They control everything from the concert promotion, the ticketing, the artist management, the operation of hundreds of concert venues and festival venues from top to bottom, controlling more than 80% of the live events that you see in the United States, Anna.
And people, of course, were so outraged about the Taylor Swift debacle, but also in general, it's hard sometimes to have access to tickets for concerts. The prices can just go crazy. We're heading into the busy summer months of big concerts. So what could the potential impact look like if this lawsuit comes to fruition? And
many have noted that right now some of these same venues, same concerts that were happening in the United States are happening overseas without any of the problems that they had in the United States, because in other countries they have very strict laws against what the DOJ is likely to say is a monopoly here. Look, there's a wide range of things that the DOJ can do. All indications are it's going to be a big a lawsuit with a big demand. They could go as far as trying to break up this company.
Wow. Thank you so much, Christine Romans, for giving us all of that. And for more on this, we're joined now by Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar, who has sponsored legislation to try to reform the music and concert industry. Senator, what do you make of this lawsuit, and what kind of change could it bring to the industry?
Well, thanks for having me on, Anna. This is a long time in coming. 10 years ago, I didn't like this merger. I think there are major problems when you have a company that now controls, get this, 90% of Billboard Top 40 and sporting events of the ticketing, 80% of the ticketing when it comes to large arenas, and 70% of all ticketing. They also own arenas. They own the promotion with Live Nation. They're locking in venues for long periods of time, and this has cried out for action. That's why we held the hearing. It was fun having Swifties holding signs on our side, and it is why we gathered evidence to give to the Justice Department to come up with some remedies. 3 things going on. 1, there's a lot of pressure right now because of the 30% hidden fees that so many fans see in the gauntlet they have to walk through. 2, whatever the Justice Department, I don't know the details of what they're going to come out with. I have some ideas that would be helpful. And number 3, in Congress, we're finally starting to introduce bills to put the fans first, and that includes my bipartisan legislation with John Cornyn to stop these bots from buying up tickets and finally do something when it comes to transparency so the prices can't increase while the fans are buying online.
You're talking about the Fans First Act, which you say would increase the transparency in the ticket sales, would protect consumers from overpriced tickets. You said you had some other ideas of what the Justice Department could do. What else needs to be done to reform this industry?
Well, there's just no rules of the road here. And you look at these venue lock-ins for 7 years and 10 years that really allows them to push out competition. And the Justice Department, as you know, has been aggressive about competition cases since President Biden got in when it comes to tech companies and unfairness. And taking this on is a big undertaking, but it has to happen. Whether you're a fan of Bad Bunny or whether you're a fan of Taylor Swift or Bruce Springsteen, there have been all kinds of problems in the ticketing industry.
Senator, as Christine Romans just pointed out, the Justice Department actually approved this merger between Live Nation and Ticketmaster back in 2010. So did they help create this proverbial monster?
Well, we have had a lot of mergers approved that I think need to be unwound. And the way you do that, it'd be nice to change the laws to make it easier to look backwards after you got the facts, something I'm trying to do as chair of the Antitrust Committee of the U.S. Senate. But the other way to do it is to simply take this on. Remember the breakup of AT&T, and everyone, bunch of people, AT&T was, oh, this will be a disaster. It brought down long-distance fees significantly. It created more competition, brought us, the cell phone industry, all because we said enough is enough. You can't have, in that case, horizontal monopoly and vertical monopoly, and that's what's going on with Ticketmaster. They're kind of owning every element of the ticketing experience, and that's why I think you see the Justice Department coming in. They've tried before with something called a consent decree, and they keep violating it, and now they're going to come in, and I can't wait to see what they're putting in this lawsuit, because we really need to have remedies for the fans. No one's talking about destroying them. They're simply talking about creating an environment where there can be more competition and it's a better situation for fans.
Senator, let's turn to another big story today, the new reporting on Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito. The New York Times is reporting that another provocative flag was flown at another Alito home, and this time reportedly displaying an Appeal to Heaven flag. This is a symbol used by some of the rioters on January 6th. You have previously signed on to a letter calling for Alito to recuse himself from January 6th cases. Will the Judiciary Committee, which you serve on, take any action given this new reporting?
Well, of course, he should recuse himself from these cases. And you see him, I just heard this listening to your reporting on the recent gerrymandering case and how he was talking about partisanship and decision-making in his opinion. Seriously, this is someone who clearly has shown his colors in terms of where he is on this. He should recuse himself. And not only that, beyond this situation with Justice Alito, we have to have rules of the road in place, ethics laws, just like apply to every other federal judge. The Justice Roberts had says they are moving forward with their own ethics rules, but I think it is problem after problem when it comes to trust in this court. I want people to trust the court, and that's why putting forward ethics laws, clear recusal standards, so we don't have this kind of issues going on time and time again when it comes to especially Justice Alito and Justice Thomas.
I mean, is there more the court could do? Because the Supreme Court introduced that new code of ethics. That was in November. It was somewhat limited. What more would you like to see them do to police themselves?
Well, clear recusal standards and then clear ethics laws that are ingrained in law, just like they are for other federal judges. It has to be very clear when it comes to the Supreme Court, because people are going to lose trust. And what you don't want to have in the democracy right now, with all these other things going on and the clouds over our democracy, you want to have trust in the institutions. And one way you do it is come forward and say, we're going to put ourselves through the strictest recusal standards, the strictest ethics laws, and we're going to abide by it. And that's what we're doing going forward. That's what I'd like to hear.
Senator Amy Klobuchar, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.